With OP09 almost over here in Japan, it is finally time to show my favorite character and leader, Nico Robin. Nico Robin is a 4-life, 5000 power yellow-purple leader from OP09, Emperors in the New World with the powerful keyword ability, Banish. Banish allows us to deny the opponent's card draw from life and prevent powerful trigger cards against popular leaders like Enel. Her other ability reads, on attack, you may discard a card with trigger from your hand to gain 1 rested Don. We generally only use this ability once or twice per game to let us bring out powerful 9-drop characters that help us maintain board control and replenish our life. General game plan. I play Robin as a ramping control deck, using leader attacks to reduce our opponent's hand size or life, and characters to maintain board control. Our key early game cards are Shirahoshi and Nami. Shirahoshi is best played before we bring out our 9-drops, because if we have to chain turns of 9-drops to maintain life, we obviously won't have the Don to play out Shirahoshi. Nami lets us remove opponents' 5-drops and not get rushed down in the early game. Since we will be discarding cards to ramp, Nami can generally draw a card to replace the one we discard with good planning. Mid-game, if our opponents aren't playing big threats or if we don't see Nami, we have Nico Robin and Banish Zoro. These characters can all trash the opponent's life and have decent stat lines, but importantly, Zoro can threaten Blackbeard without an on-play ability. If Blackbeard can't remove Zoro in time, 2 sources of banish attacks will make it very hard for him to come back. Late game is when the real control begins. 9-cost Lin helps maintain a big life total and gets around cards that can't be KO'd like Sabo or Burgess, although we'll probably be Black Holed starting turn 3. Going first, we will be on 9 Dawn when the opponent just finished their 6 Dawn turn, so Big Mom should be able to clear almost any card of the board, not counting other ramping decks of course. Once life totals are high, 9-cost Yamato can be played to KO usually a 7-cost on the next turn, and occasionally an 8-cost if both players have been defending life aggressively. If we're able to maintain board control in the early and mid game, 9-cost Luffy is a great card to get out early since he has higher power and draws a card. Cards and builds. In OP09 at least, no one has really figured out the best way to play Robin, and it might be because every card choice we make makes us weaker or stronger against the current meta lineup. I will be showing a few different builds, and I recommend practicing with each to see what works best for your playstyle or your local meta. The main cards that we see in basically all deck lists are Yamato as removal and healing, Nami to help stem early aggression and gain control of the board, Nico Olivia as a good trigger and the on-play can lead to surprise wins and it's just a good 2k, Gum Gum Giant, the counter that every purple leader wished they could run, but luckily limited only to Straw Hats, so of course we will run 4. Shirahoshi, especially in this meta where Lucci and Blackbeard are running around, and some of the best 2k counters ever printed, Beige and Frankie. Now from here is where we start to see different card choices, and I'll separate them into 2 sections. Trigger cards. To keep ramp and 5-cost Nami consistent, there's a few different choices. Sol and Brule. Free blockers. While Sol is a brick in hand, we can either pitch him for the various effects in our deck, or in an emergency, play him out from the 6-cost Robin trigger. Speaking of the devil, 6-cost Robin is a free life trash on play, and can help turn the tempo since the opponent will want to defend life more desperately if they are low. Turning back the clock, Miss All Sunday will allow you to do a second ramp for free instead of having to discard a card, but she doesn't have any counter and only 5000 power. Jewelry Bonnie can help you gain some card advantage for hitting your opponent, but it tends to be a very high priority target for removal, and it can mess with how you play your curve. This is the most playstyle dependent card from this list. I've tried it and wasn't a fan personally, although it's nice against lower powered decks that don't have as much removal. You're the One That Should Disappear is similar to Beige in that it can win games if you get lucky. Kikunojo is good for an aggressive playstyle and hard for the opponents to remove. Onami is a good KO trigger, and the Banish can help deny more resources late game. Raigo is an unconditional removal and can help against 10-cost Shanks and Blackbeards. Professor Clover and Dereshishi are options. I don't recommend them since searching for trigger cards isn't as strong as it might seem, especially in this fast OP09 meta. Non-trigger cards, in order of cost. Geratsu, still good, but he is mostly for low-cost board swarming matchups like Zoro and Dofi. Other decks in the meta usually don't let him kill anything. 6-cost Banish Zoro, good for Nami and Blackbeard, but doesn't tend to live very long. 7-cost Sanji, similar to Nami, being used to maintain board control, but minusing Dawn in the early and mid game will delay your 9-cost characters from coming out. 8-cost Katakuri, non-KO removal, and a possibility to reuse your own triggers. Still strong, but it has fallen off lately. 9-cost Luffy, best played when you've just reached 9 Dawn, since later on healing usually becomes a higher priority and it will be hard to find a time to play him. 9-cost Lin Lin, my favorite card to bring out, as I mentioned earlier in the gameplay section. Doubles as healing and removal and combos well with 9-cost Yamato. 10-cost Ace, still a strong card, but using all 10 Dawn can be dangerous since we won't be able to use Gungam Giant. Now let's get into a few different deck lists. This list went undefeated in a flagship, so I thought I might as well show it first. It uses 2 Katakuri and the starter deck Usohachi 2K counter. My personal deck list uses a lot more top end with 9-cost Lin Lin and 2 copies of 9-cost Luffy, and 3 Raigo because I like the trigger and it helps against Shanks and Blackbeard. This Big Mom build is what I used near the start of OP09, and it won me 2 top 8 flagships and my entry into the Tokyo Regional Qualifier. I wouldn't recommend this now, but there's something to be said about the power of 7-cost Lin Lin. If we get more good non-leader locked Big Mom cards in the future, this might be worth revisiting. Here is an Egghead build that went 4-1 in the flagship, only losing to Purple Luffy. It utilizes I Rayquaza Help to bring Egghead cards back from the trash for free if you can get into life. And last but not least, we have the Meme Trigger and Gamblers build. This uses a lot of cards that come out when your opponents hit you and really needs a lot of luck, but you can get some surprise wins out of this. Matchups. I would describe Robin as a tier 2 deck. Not bad into most decks, but not great either. She takes a lot of practice and some luck to beat the top tier decks. Let's talk about the top meta matchups. Blackbeard. He can turn off your healing, but your banish will keep his hand low. In this matchup, it's important to keep a wide board and maintain board control. That means you'll sometimes have to play cards inefficiently, like Frankie or Robin without effect. Shanks. Very hard matchup. You just have to hope they don't chain drop many big characters. Having 2 9-cost characters out before they drop a 10-drop rush Shanks can help, but it's still an uphill battle. Purple and Purple-Black Luffy. This is a skill matchup on who can maintain board control, but these Purple Luffys pump out many characters and they do it fast. Watch out for Nika Luffy, and if you can survive it, you might be able to win on the backswing. Blue Doffy. We win this if we go first, but it's harder going second. The removal and life gain means we can usually starve out the Doffy player unless they get really lucky. Lucci, same as Shanks, but probably even more difficult. Lucci will kill your 9 costs quickly and leave your board empty, on top of being 5 life and having access to Moria. Very low win rate, good luck. NL, basically a free win. Banish means using their leader's ability as -1 card every time. Build a big board and swing when you can win. Bonnie, kill their cabbages and pray they don't draw their big cards like Shanks or Zoro, or have a Raigo. Yellow-Black Luffy. Any deck with Moria is already a difficult battle for Robin, and Banish can be beneficial for him since it puts his cards into the trash. Try to build a big board of 9 drops before trying to win the game. In conclusion, while Robin is a fun leader that can drop big bodies, she just doesn't have the right tools to win consistently against most of the big baddies of OP09. Her ramp costs a card and the Dawn doesn't even come in active. Despite all this, I will be bringing Robin to my Tokyo Regional Qualifier on December 7th and hope she can carry me through. I was able to put a lot more details into this deck tech compared to my previous videos, since Robin is all I've been playing these last 3 months. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'll try my best to reply to everyone. See you next time. The One Piece!
Can we get much higher? So high.